My name is Keith, and from the time I was about 4 years old, I was interested in being a part of the entertainment business. And I've done many things throughout that time, from singing in bands, writing music, hosting television shows, everything involved in the professional wrestling business. And I've written comic books, done a lot of things, and almost all of those things failed in some way or another. But I still kept going. I still wanted to continue to create. And there's just something in me that drives me to create. And I started thinking, well, what is it that drives anyone to create? And that's going to be the point of this podcast. We're going to talk to people from all aspects of the entertainment industry. We're going to find out what made them interested in creating art and why, when faced with success, when faced with failure, the ups and downs of life and life in the entertainment business, they continue to create. So, and hopefully we'll have some good and interesting conversations along the way that you'll be interested in hearing. So tune in to the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and today we have a actress, model, singer, entrepreneur, just an all-around amazing entertainment entity, Keldamuzik, aka Diva, here with us this week. Kelda, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Hey, what up, Pete?
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm excited to do this. So,
Yeah.
So before we actually get into the meat of the podcast, I did want to ask you something before we even. I listened to some of your music before we did this. Obviously, and I noticed that you sing and you rap. Right? That's you doing both. I would assume, right? On the tracks.
I just rap.
Oh, okay.
I hire singers to sing
Gotcha.
on my hook, or if I do sing, it's just like a little bit,
Oh, okay.
harmonizing a little bit, but not,
Okay.
not
Oh,
singing.
gotcha. Okay, so that kind of blows my question out of the water, because I was gonna ask, like, because I'm a big fan of like Lauryn Hill
Mhm.
and Mary J. Blige and people like that who came up and both sang and rapped, and I just was wondering how that influenced you. But yeah, I guess if you're not the one singing, then that doesn't really. But
Yeah. No, I wish I had those kind of vocal cords.
sure,
It takes a
yeah,
lot,
it's
but
amazing when you can go back and forth, between the two. So it's
heck
pretty
yeah,
cool.
definitely.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. So the other thing that I wanted to ask, I guess, to start things off is,
Mhm.
originally when you got into the entertainment business and the creative side of things, you were an
Mhm.
actress.
Yep.
And what is it that made you decide that you wanted to act? Do you remember when you first got that idea in your head, and what was it that sort of sparked it?
Yeah. I've been acting since I was a kid, and it was the mom's idea first. It was
Sure.
like she just saw stars and dollar signs in her eyes, and eventually just enrolled me in hella different acting classes and talent agencies, casting companies, and I'm like 5 or 6 years old reading these long scripts and monologues and commercials and stuff, and just really prepping myself before I go on all these auditions. And along the way I met a lot of other um child actors too, and networked with my mom and I would network with other families, other parents who are managing their children's acting career, and we're doing photo shoots together with a couple photographers, presented by the agency, and just from there, that's just what for me, that's what created the spark, and that's what also led me to do other things in the entertainment industry. So yeah, it all started from, being a child actress turned model, turned artist, turned actress again, and
Right.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you first started, did it seem like
more like a job to you then? Because we've actually never had anyone who started in the business this young on the podcast. So I'm interested to see what that's like. Like, was it like a job, like you knew you were out there to make money for your family and yourself or whatever, or
Mhm.
uh was it something like inside of you that you felt like you really wanted to do? Like how did that process work?
Yeah, it felt like a chore. You know what I mean? It felt like a after school extracurricular activity or something. You know what I mean? It didn't really at first. It didn't really feel like it was something that I wanted to do. Like, as a kid, we want to go hang out with friends. We look forward to, having birthday parties, going to birthday parties. But, I gotta stay in Friday night and instead of watching TGIF, I'm practicing my commercial for my audition the next day. So it did feel like a chore. And the reward from it all is what I've accomplished today.
Sure.
Um, you can't expect anything to happen overnight or immediately, especially, as a kid. It's just so many politics involved, right? Because now you got to deal
Yeah.
with the parent, and now the parent has, their restrictions and limitations as far as what you can do with their child, and then also too, as a kid, a lot of people forget that you need a work permit, and in order to have a work permit and to maintain a work permit, you need to have a grade point average of, I think it's 2.5 or 3.0. And my grades were slipping badly. So there were times where I couldn't go on auditions because it would be pointless if I got hired. I couldn't work, and I remember I used to just tell myself, I can't wait till I turn 18 so I don't have to go through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I was just a little badass in school
Right.
and didn't school just wasn't my thing and never really cared about it, unfortunately. But that also prevented me from, again, being a child working actress. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I don't know. I was just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
But eventually, things kicked in. I started getting better grades because I realized, okay, I do like doing this. I do want to do this. So once I hit middle school, I started doing really better, and then from there, I was able to obtain work. Being an extra, and just pursuing it and
Yeah.
liking it.
Do you remember what it was, like what the moment was where that kind of switched for you, where it became something that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, it switched. I would say it really switched. I would say when I was in eighth grade, it really switched because I started modeling more, and I liked the fact that I was modeling. I liked walking in fashion shows and taking pictures. People always tell me they're like, "Oh my gosh, you are not camera shy. You're very camera friendly and you love the camera." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Right.
So, um, yeah, that's what really sparked my interest to where I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to pursue this, and I want to do more than just modeling. I want to do more than just acting. I want to do music. I want to do performing arts. I want to be in theater. Uh, and yeah, everything just like took off from there.
Awesome. So, as far as the acting and the modeling, you were doing those simultaneously
Yeah, yeah, I was doing it
and going to
simultaneously.
school.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
a lot. That's a lot to take on,
it
especially that
is.
young.
Yeah, it
So,
is. And just imagine like all the TV shows that we used to watch a long time ago, like Full House, Family Matters, Step
yeah,
by Step, Boy Meets World. All of those kids had to balance school and acting,
yeah,
and they'll always have a teacher on set, right, um to teach you and to be help you with your homework and stuff, but it wasn't the same type of attention that you would have in regular school.
sure,
So, but it was enough to, catch you up on, the basics, right? English, math, science, social studies, science or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was really about, okay, make sure you have your script memorized too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And be on set on time and make sure you're healthy and you're eating 3 times a day, and we got to make sure that your weight is in check. Just
Right.
it's almost like you're a robot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's important to have somebody there, especially for the kids to check on their health, though. I feel
Yeah,
like because
yeah.
I'm actually pretty interested in the whole process of child actors and child stars. I've been watching for as long
Hmm.
as I can remember, like different documentaries and things like that. And it seems like a lot of them, the ones who have good onset tutors and a good support system, are the ones who really came through it all right. You know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's a good point. Support system. You need whoever it is that's managing you, your parents, or if they, assign someone else to manage you, you really need a strong support system because you're a child, you're fragile, you're sensitive, and you don't really, your mind is not mature yet to where you understand what's going on and what people are talking about or how the way they're talking to you. So you really do need a good support system and people who could thoroughly explain to you what the process is or what's going on. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of these children today may not have the same support, which is why later you hear about suicide, drugs,
right?
violence, just a whole bunch of unnecessary, behavior
Yeah.
that happens because the lack of support.
Right, right. Well, I remember like the Different Strokes cast from the '80s. I mean, they fell apart. You know,
Hmm.
all three of them just, man, once they got older, their whole lives just
Yeah,
kind of went bad. And it's hard to
yeah.
see stuff like that. But I'm actually going to be in a movie here. I'm filming at the end of the month, and I
Oh,
started
wow.
out. I was going to be kind of featured, and now I'm an extra. My part just kept getting reduced. I mean, it is what it is. But they
Right.
had a role for they had a role for it was like 3 or 4 lines, and it was the younger version of the star of the movie.
Oh,
And
okay.
my son is 9, and he does YouTube videos, and he writes
Hmm.
music, and he draws, and he's a big ham, and he plays basketball really, really well. So
Hmm.
he wants to do that kind of thing when he gets older, you know.
Hmm.
Um, he's already a YouTuber, if you will. So
Oh, okay.
he's got more subscribers and views and stuff than I do. So I mean, But I figured I'd set up an audition for him, and then when it came time to audition, he just didn't want to do it,
Oh,
and
wow.
he
Hmm.
just didn't want to. He wants to do his own stuff. And
Hmm.
so I was just like, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. And I didn't make him, I didn't push him, um, because
Yeah.
I know he's creative and I know he's going to do something. Um,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to make him feel like he had to do this audition like for
Yeah.
me. I wanted it all to be for him. So if you wanted to
Yeah.
do it,
No, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be.
yeah,
The second you force your child to do anything, it's just kind of like, okay, this is like forcing me to do homework and just things that
right,
don't really interest me, you know what I mean? So,
right,
yeah, if he
yeah,
doesn't want to do it, then yeah, hey, okay, cool. Let's continue to be a YouTuber. You know what I mean? If
right,
that's what you want to do,
yeah,
hey.
yeah, exactly. I don't even know if he has any interest in acting. It just was an opportunity that came up, and it was kind of in the vein of what he does. And I was just like, let's try it. And he was just
Hmm.
like he was in the room with me, ready to go, and then he was just like, nah. And I was like, all right, dude, I'll tell him no. I'm not. And that
Right.
was it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the end of it. But um,
Yeah.
so the transition from a child actor and a child model into an adult in the entertainment
Mhm.
business, what was that experience like? Because a lot of people have a hard time with that. How did that go for you?
Yeah, it was it was good because I took a break for a while and focused on being a teenager and actually played soccer for 7 years and just really got deep into friends and school activities. stuff like that, even, drama, all that stuff that comes with being a high school student. So, even though I still had the drive and the want and the ambition to still do, acting and modeling. Um, I told myself, I said, well, let's look into music because I started writing a lot. And when I started writing a lot, I'm like, I need to apply this to some beats. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was just crazy. Like in high school, I was always in the library, going on, what was it, not SoundCloud, I think it was like SoundClick. And, I'm looking up different producers and, mixtape tracks. And at the same time, I'm looking at, local independent labels to see who's looking for an artist to produce. Like I was just, that's where my focus was. But I still was, enjoying high school and just being a kid still.
Yeah, yeah. So what is it that draws you to a beat? Because honestly, like I actually noticed a lot of your production
Mm-hmm.
um is almost like throwback stuff. Like a lot of it sounds like electro, like
Mm-hmm.
Africa Bambaataa and Nucleus and stuff like that. And I really
Yeah.
like that. I dig it. So that's I grew up on that stuff, so I really liked it. But yeah, what is
Oh,
it that
yeah.
draws you to that kind of production or just production in general? Like, what do you look for?
Oh gosh. You know what? I like all kinds of music, all kinds of beats. So it's just really what just captures your mind, your interest, your brain. You know what I mean? And when you know it's a track that you really like, it's kind of like you write it in your head already when you hear it, you know? And I always tell artists, if you have to ask the producer, oh, let me hear that again, give me a day to listen to it, then that's not the beat for you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You like what you like. And when you instantly listen to something and you know that not only you can write to it, but you can make a song out of it to where other people will like it, that's how you know that that's your hit. It may not
Yeah.
be a global hit or whatever, but that's your hit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like when you see like a good looking chick in public or a good looking guy, like instantly you're like, whoa, she's hot. You know what I mean? Not like, oh hey, let me get to know her. She's cool. Hey.
Yeah.
So that's how it is with me in music. And there's times too with the producer, I'll sit there and I'll help him arrange the music where I'm telling him, play this instrument, play this key, that key, play this sound effect, and let's see what it sounds like together. It's like making a soup, and we're just grabbing all these ingredients and mixing it together, and then voila, this is a hot track. You know what I
Right.
mean? So again, I always tell artists if it's not instantly something that you're feeling, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't purchase the beat. I wouldn't do nothing. Don't even do a mixtape over it because that means you're not going to deliver your best on the
Right.
song.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
So you mentioned hits and going global and things like that. You've had some of your music featured on some pretty popular television shows and things like that. Like, how did that come about?
yeah, yeah. Shoot, I'm just, you know what I mean. Like me and my team, we're go getters, and the whole thing is if you're gonna make music, you're gonna invest in music, then you got to do something with your music. You know what I mean? Don't just let it sit there and exist. Let others know that it exists.
Right.
So, we just did a lot of outreach to different licensing companies and inquiring about submitting our music to be placed in their libraries and to be considered for future film and TV projects. And from there, it'll sit in their library, but at least it's getting listened to by you know, different people every day to see who wants to purchase or download or use it for whatever they want to use it for.
Well, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, it could happen anytime, I guess. Like people catches somebody's ear and they all of a sudden it's in a movie or that's
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
That,
yeah. It's
uh,
and really it's the way to go right now for artists because of the whole streaming thing. and
Right.
artists not, making enough money like they normally do.
Right.
So, licensing, doing shows as well as endorsement deals, influencer deals, that's like how you make your money right now as an artist.
Yeah. Streaming has completely changed music. I mean, it's changed film, it's changed almost every form of entertainment, honestly. Like it's
Yeah.
opened things up so that more people can be heard, but at the same time, like
Yeah.
you said, the money's not there like it used to be. Um
Mm-hmm.
and uh and it's crowded,
Very
because
crowded.
I could put a song out right now. I could get, a 4 track or whatever and just put something out there, and
Yeah.
who knows what could, but anybody can basically if you have the technology. I mean, we practically have music studios on our phone at this point.
Yeah. Oh
So,
gosh. And then you got
yeah.
AI, right?
Right. Oh,
There's all
yeah.
kind of AI apps now that are like, okay, give me a few sentences and we could write a whole verse for you, a whole
Right.
song. We could pick
Right.
a beat for you. You know what I mean? We could be your record label.
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, you're right. The game is oversaturated, and for new artists, that's cool, right? Because like you said, if you released a song right now, a track right now, even if you got 5 views, 5 listeners, those are 5 people who took the time to
Yeah.
to hear what you made. You know what I mean? And you may not be getting paid for it, but you'll be happy with that because it's like, hey, I'm not
Yeah.
really trying to do this. Whereas an established artist who's been doing this for years and who, depends on this as their income, they release music and they're getting all these streams, but they're not seeing any money from it. You know
Right.
what I mean? So yeah, all of that is just it's what makes the industry so difficult right now.
Yeah, for sure. Um, it's funny because there was this AI band, and they came up on my Spotify like as a recommended artist, and I was
Hmm.
listening to them, and I thought they were cool, and I was looking because I still get into physical media, like I still buy
Hmm.
CDs and stuff. So
Hmm.
I was looking to see if they had any CDs available, and it turned out they weren't people. Like it was a completely created band.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. The whole entire thing was made by AI, and they put it on Spotify, and they were getting pushed, and they actually have like hundreds of thousands of listens, and they're not
Oh
a
my
real
god.
band. And
Oh
it
my
fooled me,
god.
you know.
Yeah.
It just like that's insane that that's out there now. It's a little
Yeah.
scary, you know.
It is. And you know what too? I also think what's gonna come back as well. Okay, you have AI, right, making the music for you and
Yeah,
and the imaginary artist. Soon they'll do holograms, right?
right, sure.
So imagine a AI hologram tour.
Oh man,
You really
yeah,
just got to see a bunch of nothing. Like just
right. I remember the concert, the Tupac hologram concert a few
yes.
years ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, it's not really Tupac; it's just a giant hologram of him.
Hmm.
And second of all, where is this going to go? Like, it was just
Yeah.
so strange to me that people were willing to pay money to go see a hologram of Tupac.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and from there, like, well, I think everyone or companies have realized that a hologram is extremely expensive, right?
right, sure,
So it's kind of not even they would have to really see residuals from it if they were gonna create one. But I think they said that Tupac hologram was close to like a couple $1 million, if not more.
wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, might have been more than that, but
yeah,
yeah, imagine if they had a touring hologram and the label knows they're going to recoup on that because kids will love it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, the more demand for something, the lower the price.
Yeah,
Once you start selling it to more and more people, you don't have to charge as much for it, basically is how it,
exactly.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
VCRs used to cost $500, and now they
Right,
don't even
right.
exist anymore. And, you can pick one up for $3 in a garage sale. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of,
It's
yeah,
an antique now, it,
yeah,
it
it's
has a
hilarious.
different kind of value to it now.
Right, for sure. So, what was I? Oh, so what got you back into acting? Because you said you're doing acting, some acting again now.
Yeah.
After you moved away from it for a while, what was it that that got you back wanting to act?
Yeah. Just pretty much like we discussed with the industry being oversaturated, and if you want to stay relevant and obviously keep the income coming in, and you still want to do this, then you have to expand.
Yeah,
And for me, fortunately, I have the experience in acting. I started off that way, so for me to circle back to it, I felt like this is the right time, and I'm good at it. And again, the music industry is oversaturated, so why not multitask? And that's when I started contacting casting directors and talent agencies, and just getting my feet wet as an actress again, and memorizing new monologues, filming those monologues, going to acting school again, and just really working hard towards that part of the industry. And yeah,
yeah,
I've been cast in several films. I produced a couple of my own short films. Had a couple films picked up in the festival circuit, and just really, started dabbling in that industry a lot. So, and I'm glad that I did, because it's been a major success, and it's actually been helping me with the music as well.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and speaking of diversifying, is that one of your berets that you're wearing?
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Awesome.
Tams beret. Yeah. I'm in the fashion industry, or I should say merchandising industry, whatever, just, selling products. And Tams has opened a new door for me as well, because of this, I've been hosting fashion shows, and I've been producing fashion shows, and I've been recruiting models and working with models, and using them as my dancers on stage, and having them, be the spokesperson of the berets. And gosh, we've just done so much with the TAMs and models. We've been cross promoting with other brands and products. We've been doing photo shoots, videos, everything. Like, it's a miracle, but it's like a domino, a domino effect, because one thing happens, and now all these other things are happening, and it may not be within, the same lane, but it's still, things are still occurring, things, opportunities
Yeah,
are arising. So yeah.
yeah, and like you were saying with the acting, like the acting helps with the music.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean it's all still connected, and interpromotion, I mean, is so important. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure that you can play if you're producing a fashion show, I'm sure that you can use your music for the models to walk to, and then people can
That's what
hear
I've
it.
been doing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been doing that, and I even made a soundtrack to Tams, and that, it's a little jingle, and I have models walk out to that too. But yeah, I have them walk to my music, and then sometimes I'll perform, and the models will walk with the berets on. I feel like I'm just starting a new movement as an independent artist, and opening doors for other people too.
yeah,
Let's all win together.
absolutely, absolutely. I love how diverse you are, but at the same time, it all comes back to kind of the same creative source. Um, that's really cool. Like
Yeah.
I dig it, man. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so
Thank
what
you.
what kind of stuff do you have going on right now? Like as far as music, do you have any new music or recent music or films or anything like that that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so music wise, we're promoting the Diva Workout, and the Diva Workout is a fitness EP where the songs are EDM mixes of mine, and we're using that to promote people in the fitness world, because everyone likes to listen to, fast music, and music that will keep them focused, or music that motivates them to work out harder. So we're promoting the Diva Workout. Also, to I just wrapped up a series uh, called The Hodges, where I'm playing the wife to comedian Mario Hodge. And we're just, shopping right now to different platforms to see where we can place it. And then with Tams, we currently have a couple of fashion shows that are in the works right now, that we'll be doing here in the Bay Area. And gosh, yeah, just I have a nonprofit called the Diva Outreach that I
Awesome.
just launched. Yeah, we're almost done with the website, and it's catered to females who want to pursue a career in arts, or even if they want to, you know, explore it as a hobby, or just make it as a hobby, something to again keep them focused and to exercise their talents through art. That's what this platform is for, and we'll be producing events from there with it. Um, but yeah, the as far as I know, that's all the stuff I have going on. I do have a
Okay.
couple shows coming up in October, as well as at the end of this month that I'll be performing at. So, things just keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I wasn't aware of the Diva Project. What was it that got you wanting to do that? What was it that one, I mean, you've talked about everybody succeeding together. Was it sort of with that idea in mind, or?
Yeah, yeah, because and actually the idea sparked when I linked up with my fiscal sponsor, Man to Man, which is a nonprofit organization, and we produced a benefit concert event uh, earlier this year, and I was in charge of booking the artists for it, and it happened to be all female artists. It was all female lineup, but it was a mix of spoken word, singing, rapping, reading, reciting a monologue. And that really just sparked the idea for me to build a platform for females that have a passion within art, and providing them a platform to do so, to do what they want, like to do what they love.
That's awesome. I I love stuff like that. Like one of the things that I like to focus on this podcast is um community. Like it
Hmm.
seems like a lot of the artists that I have on here have some sort of an outreach, whether it's a mental health thing or like you helping people focus on art
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
homelessness. Like I mean, there's just it seems like there's always a desire to give back, and I love that. Like I think that that's just
Always,
awesome. Yeah, I love that
always.
so much.
Yeah, you got to support the people that support you. And if this is the most that you can give, then give it, provide it, and people will appreciate you forever for it.
Absolutely. So, where can people find you? Because we didn't throw that in there when you were talking about the stuff you've got coming up. Where can people find you on the net? And
Yeah, yeah. You guys could visit my website. It has everything. Keldamuzik.com. That's KELDAMUZIK.com. You'll hear all my latest music projects. You'll stay updated on my latest TV, film projects. Um, Tams. You could also purchase a Tams through the Kelda Music website. And yeah, just everything. You could sign up on my email list on my website. It's Kelda Music. It's a brand name.
awesome. Heck yeah. Okay, so one thing that we like to ask everybody before we wrap things
Hmm.
up. Um, you said that when you got involved in the entertainment business, it wasn't necessarily what you wanted to do.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that you've had some other moments where maybe you were like, maybe this isn't for me. You even took some time off. And
Right.
there's obviously ups and downs, especially being an independent artist where you're
Hmm.
where you're trying to make this thing happen. What is it that keeps you creating and keeps you going and keeps you wanting to put stuff out into the world?
Um, the fact that other people embrace it and support it, and once you have, again, like once you have one person who streams your music, watches your videos, or even follows you and commends you on your work, it's kind of like you got to do it for this one person.
Yeah,
Even if it is just one person, you got to do it. So yeah, that's the motivation, baby.
that's awesome. Kelda, thank you so much. This has been so fun. Our first female guest ever in the history of the Most Excellent Entertainment podcast. Um, yeah, I
Yeah,
really appreciate you doing this and taking your time out.
you got
And,
it.
awesome. So before we go, I mean, I just thanked Kelda. I'd also like to thank my producer, Tyler Martin and Emmy Studios. Um, I want to thank everybody who's listening. We're growing, man. I feel like we're starting to hit our stride, and it's showing in the numbers on Spotify. So keep listening to us, keep checking us out, and we'll be back next week with the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast.